Having staff in a building right now may be a risk to your organization based on our pandemic. So is there a way that you potentially could operate, maintain a building with no one in the building? And that really comes down to remote services. And there are ways to do that, both with building automation and with HVAC equipment. From building automation standpoint, there are ways that you can utilize your building automation system to provide alerts and alarms remotely through mobile devices to your technicians that actually operate the building. And they can actually keep a good eye on the building by looking at some of the data that's coming through. There's also ways to be able to offload that responsibility to a remote operations center where there's 24/7 engineers available to not only receive an alarm, but to triage the alarm. And from that triage, they maybe even be able to reset or restart or sequence, start, stop a piece of equipment remotely and not have anybody even go into the building. There's also ways to be able to do scheduling and to be able to start and stop equipment based on a schedule, a modified schedule that would meet the needs of the building since it's minimally occupied. That's on the building automation equipment. When it comes to HVAC equipment, there are ways also to provide a window or a dashboard into chillers so that you're actually looking at the chillers 24/7. You're receiving alerts and alarms on those. And in some cases, you may be able to go in and provide some reset schedules through the building automation system so that the equipment's not running when it's not necessary. So there are ways to do that through remote services. In addition to that, there's also staff augmentation. What staff augmentation would mean, if there's no one in the building maintaining it, there are ways for people to come in and do some services, but not spend much time at all in the building, to come in and check on systems, to make sure that things are working properly and that at least someone's, putting an eye on the equipment at certain intervals. When we have minimal staff available, how could Johnson Controls support that? And in some cases, the employees that are in the building are so busy dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic and all the initiatives and requirements to get the building ready for that, they're not available to operate and maintain the building. And that comes into what we call staff augmentation. What that means is identifying the areas that need support. That could be areas in supporting the fire alarm system, the fire suppression system, could be building automation, it could be the security, access, camera systems, it could be HVAC equipment, it could be chillers. But there's a number of areas where JCI can support you and fill in the blanks where you may not have people available during this time. If you're significantly busy dealing with other problems, other issues in the building, and it takes away from that, that's when staff augmentation comes in. And JCI can provide either part-time or even in some cases full-time people to fill in areas that aren't being addressed during this time. So there are some strategies that you can put in place that can minimize the number of people required to be on site to perform maintenance. And one of the primary ones is something called condition-based maintenance. Condition-based maintenance is the concept where you only apply maintenance on the equipment when it's needed. So if you have the technology to do that, you can eliminate what we would call preventive maintenance on schedule, whether it's once a month, once a week, changing filters, or it could be something that is done on an hourly basis today, and tomorrow it's going to be based on the condition of that asset. It may require some technology to be able to do that through building automation system or a connected chiller program where we're actually looking at a dashboard and looking at data. So essentially what you're doing is you're eliminating some of the tasks that you would normally do, only focus on the critical task, monitor the equipment. When the equipment tells you there's a problem that needs to be addressed, take action. If not, take no action at all. So you're basically looking for any faults that may be occurring with the equipment that need immediate action and taking action on that. One of the key points to bring up when it comes to service at Johnson Controls is the fact that we are brand agnostic. And what we really mean by that is of course, we have our York brand of equipment. We have our Metasys brand of building automation systems. And we also have a number of other products in the area that are branded fire, branded security. However, we do more service on brands that are other than our own. So, in fact, it's a minority of equipment that we provide that actually has our brand. We've been working on a variety of pieces of equipment and systems for many, many years, a multitude of brands. So our technicians are trained to work on really any brand, any system, any piece of HVAC equipment. So it doesn't really matter what brand you have in your building. JCI can provide service on that equipment and system. For more detailed information on remote servicing and staff augmentation, contact your building expert at Johnson Controls. We have the equipment, technology, and services to help you. We understand and can guide you through stimulus and other procurement approaches. We're part of your community, and we're proud to help power your mission.